universe started to change.
G'day guys, welcome to Lucy's channel, Lucy Lane, the Queen of Balmain. Today we're going to talk about 5 questions about German Shepherds. Now firstly guys, if you enjoyed that B-roll sequence of this morning at the beach with Lucy and I, please drop a comment below and hit yes, because I'd love to be putting more of those in some of these more informative videos. And lastly, please understand that I'm not a dog trainer nor dog expert. I'm merely a German Shepherd enthusiast living his best life with this young pup here, and the information that I give is just through personal experience and a few things that I learn along the way. I'm really no different to you guys. Question number 1, how to stop puppy biting. Now, little puppies, they're essentially going to bite and chew things. Their little mouth is almost like their hands. It's how they grab and experience the world. Now, it can be pretty uncomfortable with their little razor sharp needle teeth, but do be assured most of the time your puppy will just grow out of this behavior. But there are a couple of things that you can do to help accelerate this. So essentially with Luce, or like from my own personal experience, we just said a loud no when she got a bit mouthy, and I would like cover her snout with my hand, say no, and or I would just walk away. Or alternatively, if I had a tug or a toy on offer, I would actually redirect the bite onto the tug. Reassured in most cases, and Lucy, just talking from my own experience here, she essentially just grew out of that mouthiness stage. Question number 2, how much does it cost to feed Lucy per month? Well, just recently that cost has gone up quite dramatically, and here's why. So we used to have Lucy on a high quality kibble called Black Hawk, and it was a very good quality kibble. I'd recommend most dogs can be on it. It has a very fit macronutrient profile, so your dog gets all of the calories and adequate nutrients that it requires. But just recently, Lucy has developed an intolerance to larger protein molecules, so we've had to put her on a vet prescription diet kibble. It's a Hill's prescription diet for sensitive stomachs. This is the highest quality kibble money can buy. A 15 kilo bag of this is about $250. Now this is in Australian dollars, so probably about $200 USD. So the quantity of this food, because it's quite calorically dense, she gets 3.5 cups in the evening, broken over 2 meals, one at around 6 p.m. and one at around 8:30 p.m. So she's got a little gap in between. Again, you guys know my stance on Lucy's consumption of food. I don't like to feed her in the morning. I only like to feed her in the late afternoon and early evening, because I like her to feel a little bit of that pinch of hunger and willingness to work through the day, because it makes her very responsive for good training sessions. All right, Luce, do you want to have a snack and have a treat-o? Good girl. Good job. A lot of people have asked, how can I get Lucy to sit here so quietly and like look up at the screen? So look, she'll sit here regardless. She may get bored and want to lay down, but if I stick a little treat here, she'll sit up and just look at the treat. So that's the magic trick behind that. So question number 3, how much does Lucy cost in vet bills per year? Well, essentially, since the start of this year, and we are precisely 8 days in, she's cost me nothing. But last year, she cost us quite a lot of money. Here's why. If you're looking at getting a German Shepherd and you want like a a rough budget of how much money you need to have set aside for vet bills. My personal opinion is you want to have access at any given time, whether it be credit or whether it be cash in the bank, of around $10,000. So through my experience last year with Lucy, Lucy had her exact amount of planned vet bills only cost us $150 each. They were just some vaccinations, 2 checkups, that's it. You know, it's nearly anyone can afford that. But Lucy had 3 little accidents last year that ended up costing us quite a fairly large amount of money. One of them was a big accident where she had to get surgery and stitches underneath her jaw on a Sunday night in a university veterinary clinic at 11 p.m. So that is something that can happen very last minute. Now, we do have veterinary pet health insurance for Lucy. She's a very good one, and it's called RSPCA. That's like the stock standard here in Australia. Very fair. I've used them multiple times, and we always get our money, and they always cover the cost of the treatments, a large sum of the treatments anyway. But the catch is, you need to have that money up front. So even though, say, if Lucy has a vet bill of $7,000 for this evening, I'm gonna have to, even though we're gonna get 80% of that money back, we still have to have that cash available to pay for it there and then. Then we submit our claim to the insurance, and then we get the money back over the next couple of weeks. So in my opinion, your dog should realistically cost you no more than $500 a year in veterinary bills. That's for basic checkups and maybe a few shots. But just be aware the unexpected can happen, and you will need upfront capital to manage those problems. I think it's safe to say you want to have $10,000 at any given moment to be able to utilize, whether it be credit or cash. All right, question number 4. Hey, I've been following your YouTube channel, and I'd like to say it's been very helpful in making my decision to get a German Shepherd. Lucy is very adorable and so well mannered. It's obvious a lot of work went into training her. Do you recommend any training books or sites that you've used to help get Lucy into the right mindset for work? All right, so my answer is yes. The first thing I recommend is Training Your German Shepherd dog book. This book here, it is a fantastic read. I recommend that's probably like a good place to start if you're a new German Shepherd owner. Now, again, I recommend that you maybe want to buy that before you get your Shepherd and just start reading it. Now, when it comes to websites, I actually highly recommend a YouTube channel called YOLO Pup. Now, the owner of YOLO Pup her name is Jillian, and she's essentially put together a whole bunch of interviews from a large amount of very relevant and highly qualified, and some would say some of the best dog trainers in the world, all on one platform where she's interviewed them individually, and they all come from different areas of the world, all have different expertises and different variances of training. But essentially, you can jump onto there and you can see, you can jump onto there and start consuming some content around dog training, and you may like one person over another. So it's a good place where you've got a lot of good trainers all on one page, and then you can start making your own decisions on what trainers you would like to listen to and learn from. I don't know, potentially purchase an online course off them, or maybe get in contact with them if they're in your local area and start working with them that way. Now, I think this is a really good way of doing things, and because, the right dog trainer for me and the person that I gel with the most may not be the right dog trainer for you, and that's okay. We're all different people with different dogs. And I'll also link YOLO Pup's channel down below. You can go over there and check it out. Now, question number 5. Hi, I was just wondering, what is your opinion on whether you can work full-time when you have a German Shepherd? I've heard a bunch of different conflicting things. So my personal opinion is yes, you can own a German Shepherd and work full-time. Look, working full-time is not an uncommon thing. Pretty much most of the world does work full-time to some extent. Now, I believe as long as the dog is getting the adequate amount of mental stimulus, the adequate amount of exercise, physical stimulus, has a good relationship with the family, and good nutrition, and has things to mentally stimulate it throughout the day, if it requires that, well then yes, you can work full-time and own a German Shepherd. But if you work full time and you get home at the end of a long day and you can't take it for a good hour, hour and a half walk, you can't be bothered doing some training in the morning, you can't be bothered taking it on the weekends, well then I would say no, you probably can't own a German Shepherd. So essentially, as long as the dog comes first, you can own a German Shepherd and work a full-time job. My personal experience, I work probably more than the average full-time worker, and my wife has her own company. She probably works twice as much as the average full-time worker, and yet we have this amazing German Shepherd in our lives, and she gets all sorts of adventures inside Sydney, outside Sydney. She goes traveling with us. We have 100 videos on YouTube here of some of the amazing trips and things that we do with Lucy and the places that we take her. So I think it's all about prioritizing the time for your dog. So if you do that, you can have a German Shepherd and work full time. Anyway guys, these are just my own personal opinions shaped from my own personal experience. So if you have any questions about anything that we just spoke about, then please drop them down below. If you got value out of this video and you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed the B-roll sequence at the start, please, again, hit the like, subscribe if you're not, turn on post notifications, and we will see you in the next video.